For those of you who've never tried meditation, I want to just introduce a little exercise that I believe it's really powerful for me. Anytime I have a time to do it, it's a great little exercise that kind of connects me and lets go of everything. Kind of clears my body, clears my emotions. It's able to kind of tap in and be the observer, So if you're new to meditation, this will be really easy transition. It's I would say it's you have to commit. Like, what is it, 108 divided by 3, like 3 months, maybe a little over 3 months, like 3.5 months of dedication. So if you dedicate 3.5 months, like 90 days, ideally, the goal is to be still, be very still, as still as you can, without even swallowing. So the goal is to meditate in a position where you find that position, usually like if you're sitting on the grass, kind of like sit cross-legged or however else you want. I kind of twist my legs. Sometimes I put them like this. If you can sit in the full lotus, you can. If you like the cross-legged, this is also fine. I was able to sit in the full lotus for about an hour, but I've kind of lost that ability. I feel like I have to relearn to do it, because if you don't really sit in it for too long, you kind of lose it. But also, I noticed that if I sit in lotus for too long, my legs kind of tend to atrophy a little bit, and that wasn't really I kind of had to do a lot of extra things to maintain my leg mobility and leg strength, when I would do sports. So just keep in mind, it's a comfortable position where you can sit, where it's going to start getting a little uncomfortable with the time duration. Basically, with the duration of the exercise, it'll increase the it's all sorts of things are going to come up in your head. But an easy practice that you could start today would be sit still, really still, without even swallowing. Like I mentioned, try to find the perfect position with your spine, which is not too erect but not too stiff and not too loose at the same time, but relaxed and still tall, where it's not too bent or too leaned over. Keep the shoulders back, nice and tall. And what I want you guys to do is inhale once, as slowly as you can. So basically, it might be like 4 or 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and then exhale as slowly as you can. And day one, this is all you're gonna do. Stay as still as you can and inhale one time. So one time, usually 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. I believe my pace is about 3 to 4 breaths per minute. And that's because I've done a lot of training. I've done a lot of VO2 training with my lungs and also apnea training when I was freediving. So I could take almost, like, sometimes when I get in tune, I can almost inhale for 30 seconds and then exhale for 30 seconds. So it'll be 1 breath per minute. So essentially you do that for 1 minute, and then you increase that to 2 reps the second day, and 3 reps, and so forth. And it'll be really easy at the first couple of days. So that's really easy transition into the gradual work. But by the time you get to 108, which is the number that I want you guys to practice until, you'll notice that it's going to be smooth. You're going to feel easy. And I feel like every number in the end will help me to kind of like with the longer practices. And sometimes the practice is going to take more than half hour. But with the longer practices, I basically go through all sorts of different emotions with my body. I start feeling discomfort. Maybe something starts itching on my body. Maybe it's a mosquito, depending on what the area I'm at. And it's really a practice of self-control to kind of see if you can resist the urge to move. Your mind's gonna start speaking all these things like, oh, you should move, you're not good, you're not feeling well, right? All these things, like your legs feeling numb, all this stuff, right? But the mind you can actually learn to coach the mind and be like, no, come on, let's do it, let's keep one more, let's do one more, and when you treat the longer practices by saying one more, or almost like be surprised at the number that you got. Oh, I got 27. Wow, this is so amazing. 27. It feels like one. It feels like one again. It feels like two again. And every time you're able to do that, you're gonna be able to prolong that practice. And basically, there is a philosophic kind of discussion way along in the past. I'm not sure if it was Socrates or Aristotle who mentioned it, but they basically said that before every action, let's say you have to go from point A to point B. Before every action, there is a halfway point. Before you get to point A from point B, you have to get through the halfway point first. And then before the halfway point, you have to get to the quarter point. And then before the quarter, you will have to go to the 8th, and then the 16th, and the 32nd, and the 64th, and it's whatever the number, 108, 128. But basically, the more you break that down in halves, you eventually reach infinity. And the discussion was that before everything actually begins, infinity is present. And once you learn to tap into the source of infinity before each count in each breath, then this becomes one place of infinity. Your brain is actually, your body will even slowly begin to adjust, and you might even feel like, I don't know, something in your spine or things in your body or your stomach. You might start to hear more senses in the body, like feel the nerves. You might connect more to your spine and align your spine, and you could do, I actually suggest not forcing yourself to be really still, but actually go with these micro movements in the body, still without swallowing, but these micro movements in the body and spine to even find the more perfect position. So perfecting that position as the number progresses, right? So it's about a little more than 3 months of an exercise, but I feel like this is a really good way for somebody new who's never really tried meditation. It's an easy progression. So one breath, be as still as you can, take one inhale day 1, 2 inhales day 2, without moving, without even swallowing. Be as still as you can in the most comfortable position that you can, and go until 108. Go until 108 and see what happens. See what happens, guys. Hope you enjoy this. Peace.